Let's have coffee together and talk morning routines, shall we? I am the person who has been on the internet for a long time and who has tried every single person's morning routine in order to, I don't know, achieve success. I don't even know why we're so obsessed with morning routines, but it seems like every successful person has a very specific set of things that they do each morning. And there are people that I have admired throughout the years and have tried to do exactly what they say because if it works for them, it must work for me, right? Morning routines are kind of bullshit. Not in the sense that they don't work, but in the sense that they are so individual that they really only work for that one particular person. So when we're talking about the biohacking, the cold showers, the saunas, the cold plunges, the green juices, the meditation, the waking up early, the waking up late, the puttering around, all of those things, it's very specific to what works for that person. And yes, it's cool to hear what other people do, but it's even cooler to optimize a routine that works well for you. In all of my efforts to wake up at 4 a.m. and to go right to a workout or to meditate for 2 hours or to take a cold shower or do Wim Hof breathing or whatever the hell I was doing. Things that I have found can be really easily broken down into 4 different categories and then chosen by you. I think we forget sometimes that routines are supposed to make our lives easier. If your routine is making your life more difficult, if it's feeling forced, if it's feeling strenuous, then it's not a routine for you. Routines are implemented so that you feel better about your day, so that you get more done in a shorter period of time, so that you feel like, oh, when I do this set of things, I then am setting myself up for success for the rest of my day. Aside from the madness of what everyone else's morning routines are, here are the 4 things that I think are most important. Starting with hydration. You do need to hydrate upon waking up. However, you do that is up to you. For me, it's these little ampules that have lots of minerals in them so that I'm actually getting hydrated. I think what we forget sometimes in the United States is that a lot of our water doesn't have minerals in it. So we're not actually getting the kind of hydration that we think we are by just drinking regular tap water or bottled water here. Unfortunately, I was just having this conversation last night. A lot of times when you go to another country and you're like, oh my God, why is the alcohol not making me feel like total crap here? A lot of it is because they don't add so many things to their wine, like in Italy, for example, no sulfites, etc. But also because the water that you're drinking the entire time you're there has actual minerals in it and is actually sticking to your insides and hydrating you. So that's my first thing is this little ampule. And then I have a huge glass of water and I make myself finish a glass of water before I have my coffee, which is my next important thing. However you want to hydrate. If that's having water when you wake up, great. If that's having some sort of elixir or potion or whatever you want to do, fine. You just lose a lot of water when you're sleeping. And to get yourself on the right track right when you wake up, hydration wise, I think is super important. The second thing is doing something solely for yourself. For me, this is my coffee time. I don't look at my phone for the first half hour. I sit with my coffee and I literally try to think about nothing. This is not my time where I meditate. This is not my gratitude practice. This is not any of that. This is just me time. This is the time where I look around my apartment and I go, I'm so happy I live here. I love this life. I can't wait to do X, Y, and Z things. Should I plan a trip here? This is just my thoughts and allowing myself to kind of calibrate to the day with me and my coffee. This makes me very happy. I can totally get down with why everybody says no caffeine, etc. It's just not for me. I'm okay with that. So I think that you should do what you want. If coffee's included, great. But there should be a moment in time where you just have solace to yourself, where your thoughts are not immediately taken over by something else, whether that's social media, responding to texts, even getting into meditation, just not worrying about what you're going to have to do next. Again, this should just be a pleasurable moment for you and your coffee, your matcha, your tea, your drink of choice, your water, whatever it is. But allowing yourself to have that quiet time before anything else happens, I think, is super important. The third thing is mindfulness. This is when you get into those practices of whatever you want to do. If meditation works for you, awesome. If it doesn't, also awesome. If it's journaling, great. If it's 2 lines of gratitude, great. If it's reading 3 pages of a book, great. Anything that has to do with you giving your attention to something bigger than yourself. This is about looking outward, externally, giving yourself time to look at the world around you, to think of yourself as a part of a larger community. This is your calibration to the community outside, the global community, the people around you, your family, your friends, etc. When we're talking about gratitude lists, when we're talking about meditation, when we're talking about being mindful, it's not always about what's going on with us internally. It's about what's going on with us in the external world that we can appreciate and that we're having thoughts about. So I like to do this practice second because I think that it's important to first get in touch with yourself, have your own thoughts, not be so worried about what those thoughts are, and then get into more thought-provoking conversation with yourself about the world around you. And again, it's whatever works for you. And it could be 3 minutes long, it could be 30 minutes long, it could be 12 seconds. It doesn't have to be fancy, it doesn't have to require any materials. It's whatever works for you. I have so many clients who love to meditate. I have the same amount of clients who absolutely hate it. People who work well writing things down, people who don't. This changes for me all the time. Sometimes I go through phases where meditation is super helpful. Other times I go through phases where journaling is super helpful. I created a journal that I love to use because I couldn't find something that was just quick and easy and took 2 minutes, but actually really got me thinking about myself, my community, etc. I also have mornings where I want to read a book that is meaningful or mindful. One of my favorites is The Untethered Soul. I'll put a whole list of the books that I like to read in the morning on my TikTok, so if you want to go there. The whole point is that you need to make your routine work for you, and your routine will change over time. So figuring out what you want to do, asking yourself what's going to work for you that day is equally as crucial as actually doing the practice. Lastly, movement. You need to get some sort of movement in right away in the morning. And that could be as simple as touching your toes and stretching. That could be as complex as this is where your workout comes in. So for me, 4 mornings a week, I work out. I do Pilates one day, I do SoulCycle 3 other days. I pick and choose my days according to my schedule that week, and I go either at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. That works for me. The other days I get up, I stretch, or I get out into the city and I walk. The point of getting movement in this early is that your body stores so many of your emotions, so many of your thoughts and your feelings from the previous day, from the sleep that you just had, the internal unconscious thoughts that you're having throughout the night, that you're dreaming about, etc. It's just important to kind of shake those things out of your body before they start to get stuck. So just to recap, hydration, time with yourself, mindfulness, movement. That's it. Those 4 things I think contribute to the perfect morning routine, and personalizing them and customizing them for yourself is the crucial part in all of this. It's not about what works for Sally on Instagram and Sam on TikTok. It's about what works for you as a human. Again, your routines are meant to make your life easier, and your routines will evolve and change over time, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be the same exact thing every morning, especially for women. We don't wake up and feel the same every morning. Men do. Men wake up and feel the same every single morning. Their body works on a 24-hour clock. Our body works on a 28-day clock. So understanding that some mornings you're going to wake up and feel super motivated and want to go sweat it out and get your shit together and do all of the things, and other mornings you're going to need a slower approach to the day, all okay. So do what works for you and just keep those things in mind. Hydration, doing something that is pleasurable and solely for you, having some sort of a mindfulness practice, whatever that is on that day, and then getting some movement in. That's it. Have a great day.